How many times have you wasted precious minutes of your life crawling after someone who doesn't even remember you exist? Let's face the facts. While you're melting away, that person is busy laughing at your free humiliation. And you know the plot twist? The more you insist, the more pathetic you look. Today, I'm going to show you what happens when you stop right now. Spoiler alert, your dignity might even resurrect. But only if you can handle some truths without playing the victim. If you're ready to ditch that professional needy mentality and upgrade your self-love, stick with me until the end of this video. First things first, a short and sweet message. This video only exists because someone more sensible than you liked and subscribed before. So help out. Hit the like button, subscribe, and as a bonus, drop a thanks in the comments. It's not for me, it's for the algorithm, which loves being pampered. Only then will this content reach more desperate souls who need a wake-up call. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to the point. Number 1, the problem. Why chasing her only makes you look like a loser. Do you really think acting desperate will show how different you are? That it's an act of pure and selfless love? How cute. Now let me burst that pink bubble. Your pursuit is proving nothing but the obvious, that you lack self-love. While you waste time, energy, and dignity trying to convince someone who clearly doesn't care, you know what happens. You only reinforce the image of a professional needy. It's not determination or romanticism. It's desperation. And guess what? Desperation stinks. From afar. Think about it. When someone realizes you're willing to humiliate yourself for them, do you think they think, wow, what a noble soul? No. They think, look at this walking doormat. Can I use him a little more before discarding him? Cruel? Yes. True? Even more so. The more you rub yourself in like a fly on the window, the easier it is for her to ignore you. Try to remember the last time someone stuck to you so much it felt like chewing gum on your shoe. Cute for the first 5 minutes, unbearable afterward. That's exactly how she sees you now, an annoyance she barely tolerates. And of course, the cherry on this bitter cake is the universal rule. People value what's scarce. The more you offer yourself on a platter, the less she will want. It's like that toy everyone wanted in childhood because it was rare. Now take the opposite example. That little thing that came as a bonus in the cereal box. Exactly. That's how you're positioning yourself. Another serious problem here. Your insistence screams emotional dependency. You're basically shouting, please give me a little attention because I can't be happy alone. And honestly, who wants to share their life with someone who can't even respect themselves? Oh, and before you say, but I just want to show how much I like her. Wake up, dear. Liking someone isn't the problem. The problem is turning that feeling into a ridiculous competition to prove your worth. But guess what? You've already lost. And you know what makes it even worse? This pursuit creates a ridiculously unequal power dynamic. You're juggling emotions to please while she, at best, responds with a boring emoji. Every message seen and ignored is just another brick in the wall separating you from reality. She doesn't care. Let's be frank. Chasing her won't make her want you. It won't make her realize how special you are. The only trophy you'll earn in this race is emotional exhaustion and shattered self-esteem. And the final blow? She doesn't even need to like you to keep playing this little game. Your attention is enough to inflate her ego while you sit there, thinking you're investing in something. Spoiler alert, you're just digging your own emotional grave. So, to sum it up, chasing someone who doesn't want you only serves to turn you into a walking reminder of how not to have self-love. Want to change that? Start by stopping your crawling. Now that you understand the magnitude of the problem, let's talk about the next step. What happens when you stop chasing her? Spoiler, you'll feel so good, you'll want to send me a thank you card afterward. Number 2. The impact. What happens when you stop acting desperate? Congratulations, champ. You finally decided to stop being an extra in someone else's movie. This is where the magic happens. But relax, don't expect unicorns and rainbows. The real transformation begins where it hurts, in the silence. Yes, the first thing that happens is an emptiness. It feels like you're losing something. Spoiler, you're not. It's just the addiction to her validation giving you withdrawal. And you know the funny part? The moment your messages stop popping up on her phone, she notices. Suddenly, that unbearable bombardment of attention disappears. And ironically, that's when you become interesting. Let's talk basic psychology. Humans have the strange habit of valuing what they no longer have. When you disappear from the radar, she starts thinking, where is he? Did he lose interest? Got someone else? These doubts affect her more than all your emotional texts combined. But let's get to the point. This isn't just about her. It's about you. When you stop chasing her, you reclaim something that was buried long ago. Control of your own life. All that time, energy, and dignity you were throwing away trying to please someone who didn't even care can be redirected to the only place that matters. You. And here's the kicker. Stopping the chase isn't about manipulating anyone or entering into who ignores more games. It's about remembering that you have value. It's about focusing on the person who should have been your priority from the start. Yourself. And when that happens, my friend, your confidence leaps so high you'll even surprise yourself. Without that obsession to please, you start seeing things as they really are. Every message seen and ignored, every lame excuse, every scrap of attention you accepted becomes a reminder. You were selling yourself way too cheap. And now you finally realize you deserve so much more than that. The most curious thing is that, in this process, you gain something precious. Respect. Not just her respect, but primarily your own. Before, you were predictable, always available, always desperate. Now you're a mystery. Does he still think about me, walking around? And you know what's even more fun? When you stop chasing her, the dynamic can completely change. Suddenly, she starts to notice that cheerful fool, always ready to please, has set boundaries. And you know what happens when someone realizes they've lost something valuable? They start wanting it back. Only this time, you're no longer for sale, or at least not at a bargain price. However, here's an important warning. The most valuable impact of this change has nothing to do with her. It's about you. Stopping the desperate act isn't just a relief for those who ignore you, it's a turning point in your life. When you quit being her cheerleader, something magical happens. You rediscover your strength, your dignity, and best of all, your emotional independence. Now stop and think. All that time you spent sending messages she didn't even read, getting ripped at the gym. Or better yet, using that energy to invest in your career, learn something new, or look at that, spend time with people who truly value you. What a revelation, right? Discovering that the world doesn't revolve around someone who treats you like an extra, and the impact of that? Monumental. Your self-esteem grows like never before because finally, you realize you don't need anyone's approval to be happy. And you know what's even more amazing? The more you invest in yourself, the more you start attracting people who see your worth. No need for circus acts, fireworks, or red carpets to please anyone. Oh, but what if she never realizes what she lost? Dear, who cares? That's the kicker. Stopping the chase was never about bringing her back. It was about bringing you back. Life isn't a marketing campaign where you need to convince someone to want you. It's about becoming so satisfied with yourself that anyone who doesn't see that, well, they're lost. And honestly, if she realizes what she lost, great. If she doesn't, even better. Because you don't need anyone who doesn't see your worth. This, my friend, is the lesson that transforms not just your present, but also your future. Now, enough of being the emotional doormat for someone who just walks over and moves on. Tired of being the plan B? Of being her emergency solution while she doesn't even remember your name correctly? It's time to turn off the always available mode and activate the I'm the one in charge here mode. Want to know how to do this in practice without seeming like a bitter, vengeful person? In the description, there's a book that's not just another generic motivational guide, but a step-by-step on how to move from the court jester category to the elite of guys who command respect. Because at the end of the day, you're not a clearance sale waiting for someone to take you. You're the prize. And the rule is clear. Either she values you now, or she stays in the audience watching you rise without looking back. The choice is yours. Number 3. The solution. How to stop acting desperate without getting bogged down in drama. Now that you understand the positive impact of stopping your crawl for someone who barely notices you, let's get to what matters. How to do it in practice. Because, yeah, talking is easy, but quitting a behavior that's become an emotional addiction, that's a whole different level of challenge. Take a deep breath because I'm going to teach you how to get back, but not on the person, and yes, on your old self. Step 1. Cut the ties that bind you. First, understand once and for all. Stopping the chase isn't giving up on love. It's giving up on being a fool. You're not being petty. You're taking care of yourself. And that starts with a surgical cut on unnecessary contact. No more messages, no more casual likes on Instagram, and definitely no planned coincidences of showing up where she is. Every attempt to contact is a step backward. Want a mantra? She'll only miss me when I stop being a doormat. If cutting direct contact seems scary, treat it as an experiment. Go 30 days without looking for her. It's enough time for her to notice the absence, and more importantly, for you to realize you can survive without crawling. Step 2. Be the center of attention. In your own life, you know that empty space left by her absence? Use it to occupy something that truly matters, yourself. Invest in your appearance, your health, your personal development. Always wanted to learn an instrument, start at the gym, or take a course? Now's the time. Every new skill or achievement gives you something more valuable than her attention, confidence. And the more confident you become, the less dependent you'll be on any external approval. After all, who needs validation from others when you're busy being amazing? Step 3. Identify and ignore emotional traps. Get ready, because the moment you start distancing yourself, she might notice. Maybe she'll send a "Hey stranger," like an old photo, or leave a vague, mysterious comment. This isn't love, it's a test. She wants to see if she still has power over you. Resist. Don't give in. Responding neutrally or simply ignoring are the best paths. Remember, it's not about being cold. It's about maintaining your stance as someone who doesn't accept emotional crumbs. Step 4. Handle discomfort without freaking out. At first, stopping the chase will feel weird, maybe even painful. It's part of the process, but it's in that discomfort that you start to grow. Whenever you feel that almost irresistible urge to send a message or check how she's doing, ask yourself, will this help me or just make me look desperate? Spoiler, it's usually the latter. Step 5. Visualize your future without her, and with more self-love. Finally, focus on what truly matters. Do you want to be stuck with someone who doesn't value you? Or do you prefer investing in a future where you're genuinely respected and loved? This simple shift in perspective can change everything. When you stop chasing, you not only regain your energy, but also start attracting people who truly value you. You stop being the one who begs for love and become someone who inspires respect. Summary of the opera. What do you lose? Someone who only wants you when it's convenient for them. What do you gain? Autonomy, self-esteem, and most importantly, a life worth living. Stopping the chase isn't a symbolic gesture, it's a turning point. And the best part, the unexpected begins to happen. You realize that the power was always with you. You were just spending it in the wrong place. Number 4, the result. When you change your attitude, life changes with you. So, you've finally grown a spine, stopped crawling for someone who didn't even give you the time of day, and decided to invest your energy where it truly matters. In yourself. Now comes the golden question. What happens? Get ready, because the results are as unexpected as they are satisfying. Scenario 1. She realizes she's lost and starts chasing you. Ah, the sweet sound of irony. When you disappear from the radar, her pieces start to fall into place. Remember the scarcity principle? Yeah, my friend. When you're no longer available 24/7 like the Uber of emotional attention, suddenly you become the guy. She might start with random messages like, "Hey stranger," or "I thought of you today." Maybe a casual invitation, or that strategic like on an old photo. But here's the truth. Just because she reached out doesn't mean she's changed. It could just be her wounded ego trying to regain control. So, hold on, champ. Before you rush back to her like a puppy hearing its owner whistle, evaluate. Is her interest now genuine, or is she just trying to prove she still has you in the palm of her hand? Scenario 2. You discover you deserve so much more. Now comes the real prize. By stopping the chase, you realize something that once seemed impossible. You never needed her to be happy. All that emotional drama, that constant wear and tear, wasn't love. It was neediness, a hunger for validation that was only harming you. When you overcome that, the feeling of freedom is almost addictive. And as a bonus, that newfound confidence starts attracting people who truly value you. It sounds like magic, but it's not. Secure and fulfilled people have a different kind of glow. And suddenly, you become a magnet for healthy and genuine relationships. And it doesn't stop there. This mindset shift reflects in all areas of your life. Your work improves, your friendships strengthen, and even the way you see yourself changes. Because after all, when you stop begging for crumbs, you realize you always deserved the feast, the true victory, inner peace. Here's the real trophy of this journey. Peace. That constant anxiety, always waiting for a response, trying to guess what she's thinking or planning how to please her, evaporates. Instead, you feel a relief that's simply liberating. Without that need to please, you start enjoying life in a light, authentic, and pressure-free way. What was anguish becomes freedom. You didn't give up on love. You prepared for it. And now you're ready to experience something real with someone who truly respects and admires you. The unexpected. The greatest transformation happens within you. Stopping the chase isn't about teaching her a lesson. It's about teaching yourself. It's about proving that self-love is the foundation of any healthy relationship. And you know what's better? With this change, you make room for everything you've always deserved, but were too busy begging to notice. The unexpected isn't her reaching out to you, but you realizing you no longer need her, or anyone, to feel complete. Now, with your new stance, you're ready for something much bigger. Spoiler alert, life will never be the same again. Now you get the message. Stopping the chase isn't about giving up on someone, it's about giving up on being a fool. When you break the cycle of humiliating yourself for someone who doesn't value you, you don't lose, you gain. Dignity, energy, and most importantly, control of your life return to where they should never have left, your hands. And now, the question that won't stay silent. Are you going to continue living like an emotional beggar, scavenging for crumbs of attention? Or will you finally take the lead role in your story and invest only in those who give you the return you deserve? Spoiler alert. The second option is the only one that makes sense. If you've made it this far, you already know exactly what you need to do. Start now. Stop feeding the illusion, cut the contact, and throw all that wasted energy into the only investment that never fails. Yourself. Oh, and don't forget to do the minimum. Share this dose of reality with that friend who's still stuck in the mud, crawling for someone who doesn't even value the Wi-Fi he uses to send messages. Because sometimes, all he needs is a slap, metaphorical of course, to wake up. Remember, stopping the chase isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something you, honestly, should have done a long time ago.